Joy is what happens to us when we allow ourselves to recognize how good things really are. That's a favorite quote from Marianne Williamson that I got from my good friend, Marian Edvardson, who is here with me today. Hi, Marian.
Hi, Cheryl.
How you doing?
Good.
Good. So thank you for joining us today. What we're doing is lives on Mondays called Manifestation Mondays. And we're going to take a quote every week and we're going to just talk about how you can use the quote to actually make your life a little bit better. Hey, Marian, this one kind of ties into the one that we did last week.
Absolutely perfectly.
Yeah. So I know this is one of your favorites and that you love Marianne Williamson. What do what comes to mind when you read this quote? Why does this make you joyful?
As you know, or for those of you who are starting to get to know us, I'm all about happiness and joy because that's the life that we deserve to live.
Mm-hmm.
And so I believe we were born in a state of joy. And in terms of everything that's swirling around us right now, it's easy to not be in that state, or trying to be happy. Happiness is a little bit more of a choice. So we make decisions. And last week we talked about just starting because it's a habit we have to create,
It is.
choice to be grateful about something despite what's happening
What
around
happens?
us.
For
example, I lost my brother. My youngest brother passed away in December. And despite all the grief and the sadness, which there's a lot of that, I'm so grateful every day that I had this time with him.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me happy to know that his big energy was on this earth for as long as it was.
Mm-hmm.
And and being grateful for that.
Marian,
the joy that he added to this world.
Yeah. You just said something really, really major, and that is a couple of things, actually, as far as I'm concerned. And that is that a lot of people go through life thinking that life happens to them and that they have no control over it. And so I'm constantly saying to the people that I love that it doesn't matter what happens to you or what other people do to you, that you always have a choice on how you react to that situation, how you choose every moment of every day to react the way that you do. And it is so difficult to lose a person that we love, but you still have a choice on how you handle those overwhelming emotions. You can get mucked down in it and just have a miserable, miserable time getting out of it. I know some people that have mourned so completely I have one cousin that mourned the loss of her dad for the better part of 10 years. And she just couldn't get over the way he died and everything else. And so she just got completely mucked down in it. Whereas other people, you're the example, you choose to honor that person by the joy that they brought into your life. Because I do think it's honoring the person when you flip that grief around and realize all the wonderful things that they brought into our lives and everything else. It's a choice. So I honor you for choosing to honor him in that way, because I think that's really important. That's really important.
Yeah, thank you. There's I don't know who said this, but I love this also. Life is not what happens to you, it's what happens for you.
That's really, really interesting, because you know how we're doing these little quotes every week. The quote that I was going to pass by you for next week actually has a play on that a little bit. And so it is true, though. It's very true that things tend to come into our life so we can learn, so we can grow. And again, how we perceive those things that are happening to us is really how we create our life, because we do create our life. Our life doesn't happen to us. Again, it is about choices. And so if you choose even an obstacle that is put in your path and you step back a little bit and you go, why is this happening? What can I learn from this? How can I grow from this? You'll probably find out that that kind of situation is not going to happen again. But if you don't learn from it and grow from it, that situation is going to happen over and over again. Have you ever found that to be true? That something just keeps on popping up and you're like, oh my God, why is this happening to me again? And then finally a little light bulb goes off and it's like, oh, because I need to learn from this and I have ignored this. Universe has a funny way of putting things in your way until you actually learn the lesson you're meant to learn.
Okay.
Do you find that true?
I was going to say that it's like asking the right question around something that happens instead of, why is this happening? What's the lesson that I need to learn from this?
Important questions. We should probably talk about that someday, because the questions that you ask yourself could greatly influence how you live your life moving forward. I mean, who do you think of when you think of questions?
We should have a third guest. I mean, we should have a threesome and have Laura Stewart, because that's what her book is.
Yeah, we have a good friend named Laura Stewart that was on the bestseller list for, I don't know, something like 50 some odd weeks. It was more than a year, I think, wasn't it? With what should a wise woman do? Questions that you need to ask yourself. If as a matter of fact, we should put the link below this video after we're done, because it's a wonderful book and it's very insightful. And I'm sure you would learn.
I just happen to have it right here.
Awesome. Available on Amazon, I'm sure. Hold it up again so people
along
know.
The way. So it is about asking the right questions.
Yeah.
And just another plug for her. She's been podcasting for 6 years.
Yeah.
And she just found out that she is in the top 5% of podcasters globally.
Wow, I didn't know that. I have to give her a call and say congratulations. Oh, that's awesome. She has a terrific show, though, and she has great guests. Of course, we've been honored to be on it in the past, talking about business, our businesses. But yeah, she's pretty awesome. So definitely check out that book, everybody. And we'll put the link below this video after it renders on all the stupid live stream stuff that goes on and everything. But we'll put that link somewhere for you if you want to go ahead and grab it. It's a great book. But Marian, again, going back to that, joy is what happens when we allow ourselves to recognize how good things really are. Came up in our conversation last week too, is that no matter what's going on in your life, you have the opportunity to also find something to be grateful for. And the other thing that we have, my favorite thing to always do, is put a smile on your face. Because when you do that, you'd be surprised at how much joy that one little action can also do. Even if you're having a tough day, that's when I do it the most. If I find myself super concentrating about something or getting bogged down in something, I just go, smile. and my face goes from this to having a smile. And a lot of times I'll laugh at myself because I feel so much lighter when I put that smile on my face. And I laugh at myself because I'm like, it really does work, Cheryl. I kind of talk to myself. But, is there anything that you want to, what you want to share with everybody about this whole idea about just bringing joy into your life and making that a choice?
The operative word in that quote is allow. I love that word, allow, because our mind often wants us to stay in the
familiar,
the little wheel that the little hamster runs around in, and we forget about just being joyful about something that happened in our day. And, and just remember that, allow that in there, because as challenging as things can be, and I think we're going to talk about challenges, if we allow the fact that we deserve to be happy, we are meant to be happy,
Mm-hmm.
instead of the thought that comes up a lot for people, you know, I don't deserve this.
Right.
And, one of the topics I know that we're going to talk about in the future is those limiting beliefs that hold
Right.
us back from being truthfully joyful.
Right. And if you are one of those people that you feel like you aren't joyful, and this is just coming to the forefront of your mind, that you actually do have the power to change your own happiness level, please do join us on these Manifestation Mondays, because it is what Marianne and I are going to be looking at. And, both of us have been in personal development for quite a while, but on a personal level, especially. I mean, I've been on my personal development journey since I was in my teens. I know Marianne has been for years. Marianne does it a lot more in her business than I do. I was always focused on the marketing aspect of business, but I just love exploring this kind of topic and sharing what we have learned. So I'm going to invite you to not only join us on these Manifestation Mondays, you can see them on our YouTube channels and also on our Facebook pages. So definitely easiest, go to Facebook and look for Cheryl T. Campbell. And Marianne, share yours, your Step Into Happy.
On Facebook, just search for Step Into Happy. And we just invite you to, step into that joy that you deserve and that you're meant to have.
Mm-hmm. And it's a lot easier to do than you think once you just become aware that it's a possibility. So we will see you next week. And until then, bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye for now.